This is strange. Most of my reviews include gameplay. It's Nintendo, so I can't. This time we're gonna do things a little bit different as I explained to you guys how a person who doesn't like Zelda all that much really liked this game right here, Breath of the Wild. I didn't originally plan on doing a Zelda review or a review of any Nintendo game, but I felt I had to talk about this because it's getting 10 out of 10s everywhere. And gamers are becoming suspicious. Is there fanboyism? Is there bias? Is there nostalgia fueling this? What's going on with these Zelda reviews, or is it the real deal? Is it an actual 10 out of 10? While no one's opinion is definitive, I thought I could add a additional thought that might be different from others, considering, like I said, I'm not a big Zelda fan. So before I get into Breath of the Wild, let me tell you all about my history with this franchise. Link's Awakening was my first one. Played it when I was a kid. Probably liked it because it was one of the first games I ever played, but I did replay it during high school on my Android. Actually, they had that little ROM thing where you could play different games, so that's when I replayed it. Still aged pretty well. I still enjoyed it. The only other Zelda game I liked and played through was Twilight Princess. That game was awesome. I really liked its use of the color palette. I also liked how dark it almost felt. Plus, when I first got my Wii, I wanted a game where I could swing my arm and I'd swing a sword, and that game let me do it. But as you can tell, all the reasons I liked these Zelda games were not because of Zelda, so to say, but don't get me wrong, the games there were good. Now, I understand and respect why people love this franchise so much. It's fantastic, just it's never really clicked with me. I tried Link Between Worlds. Nope. Tried Wind Waker HD on my Wii U? Nope. Even Ocarina of Time, while I thought that was a good game, when I picked it up, I found something else interesting to play at the time, so I just put it down. No disrespect to the title itself. Once again, I know why it's one of the greatest games of all time. It's just that it didn't catch me. So why did this one do it, and why is this getting 10s? Well, let me start off by saying that even though I don't do number scores here, I wouldn't give this game a 10. There are some fundamental issues, mainly frame rate. When you dock the Nintendo Switch and you play it, that's when frame rate starts to really dip big time. But when you're playing portably, this is a fantastic game, and since I've been playing it portably most of the time, wow. So why is this a Zelda game I like compared to other ones? I think most of it is due to its world. It's loaded with personality and there's a lot of interactivity, which I find very scarce within the open world genre, which has also become quite fatigued as of late because it seems like every game out there, open world this, open world that, RPG this, open world. It's everywhere. It's inescapable because now games are able to become bigger and realize a much broader vision, but at the same time, it's becoming almost like how shooters were back then, where it was like everything was a World War shooter until someone finally broke the ice and someone did a futuristic shooter, and from there was a million one of those, and now we're going back. So it's an endless loop. I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen with open world games. There's been so many of those, and then we're gonna go back to more linear styled open hub worlds, kind of like a Prey or a Dishonored, and then we're gonna see a bunch more open worlds after that. But yet again, as I was saying, this game has so much interactivity. You can basically go in every building you see, you can talk to anyone you see, have conversations with them, and I love that in my video games. The way you stumble upon unique things in this universe is well thought out. I decided to talk to some random little kid. He was just saying, hey, I want to play hide and seek, so I decided, whatever, why not play it? And it turned into a side quest where I discovered this statue who stole my essence, and it introduced me to this other mechanic in the game. And that's another thing this game has that's fantastic, is pacing. There's a new mechanic constantly being introduced where it's also like what I was saying with Horizon Zero Dawn. These are both titles that have wonderful pace, that don't beat you over the head with the same objective over and over and over. Because in Zelda, a lot of the focus is actually puzzles in these shrines you can visit, and while I'm not a big puzzle guy, I have to say that this was really refreshing, where there are camps you can go and take down. They're not listed on your map or anything, but puzzles have been really neglected in games as of lately, especially these open world ones, which give you so many tools but nothing really unique to do with them that makes you feel super smart. Zelda does that, and it's such a breath of fresh air. Pardon the pun in a way. Now stay with me here when I say this. It almost reminds me of Fallout 3 in a sense, where you're constantly cycling weapons, because the durability in Breath of the Wild sucks, but it works out so well because you're constantly breaking weapons and cycling what your enemies are using, so it becomes this process like in Fallout 3 where you're killing someone with your hunting rifle, it's about to break, you repair it with your enemy's hunting rifle or a 10mm pistol, and so on. And that's what Zelda reminds me of in a way in its beginning hours. Discovery is another big part of Zelda, and I'm sure you're thinking just through exploration, but it's a lot of the game's mechanics, such as for example cooking, and how you can mix and match all these different recipes and ingredients you find throughout the world. You can read people's diaries and maybe you'll find a recipe in there or some interesting backstory, stuff along those lines. But back to the cooking aspect of things, I really like this because it's an example of a lot of things things you find in the game that you don't know about until you gradually find out about it, leading to the pacing that I was talking about. Just a lot of things in this game interconnect with each other, and it all works marvelously. Would I give it a 10? No, there's only one 10 out of 10 in my book, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what that game is. But seriously speaking, people, I can see why Zelda's getting these stellar reviews. It is a fantastic game, and like I said in the beginning, that's coming from someone who isn't a big Zelda guy. No disrespect to the franchise, it's a wonderful franchise. It's just something that's never clicked with me, except for this game and now 2 others. This is an ideal starting point for Zelda fans. This is a game that does modernize a lot of the things from Zelda. I do really miss collecting heart scales. I kind of wish that they didn't do it through the Spirit Orb system in this game, but overall, that's one of my very few amount of qualms. They do need to fix the frame rate on this game. That's something that'll bring this to another level if they can get a steady 30 FPS the entire time. Was it dropping constantly for me? Absolutely not. But there were times when combat really heated up where there was explosions, fire, lots of particle effects that the game would drop to about like 18, I'd say, and that would become incredibly noticeable. But also sometimes when I'm exploring the town and not in combat, and once again particle effects start to pick up, you see mist, you see little sparkles coming off a tree and stuff. That's when the game starts to slow down, when it's doing too much of that. So I think if they remove a few of those little special effects throughout the game, this will run perfectly fine. Anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts on this title. If you own a Switch, you probably already have the game, but if you're keeping your eye on the Switch like I recommended in my review, this is a game that you should definitely make sure you have on your list, and keep an eye out for upcoming games for the Switch, where if you do invest in it, that you'll have a nice list of maybe 2 to 3 games to pick up, because you know how slow the launch schedule is going to be for this system. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, found this informative. If you have any questions about Zelda, leave them in the comments down below. I'll try to get back to you guys. I'm not a huge Zelda expert, I've made that pretty clear here, but still, I'd love to talk to you guys about it, learn more about the franchise, because I can at least say I'm a fan now, and I could justify owning a 3DS with Zelda now. I don't look like such a bandwagon fanboy now. Woo! Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to consider contributing to the Patreon. It helps fuel all the content we create here. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.